Time now for Hard Truth Tuesday here on the Dan ODonnell Show, and it comes in the form of an email from loyal listener Scott. Dan, I wanted to give a look back to the Supreme Court election. The fact that Protasewicz is being sworn in tomorrow, this was set last night, it should be a reminder for what conservatives need to do from now on. No excuses. The left's entire mission is to make states like Wisconsin an example of conservative reform that we've enjoyed to just go into the shredder. They've done it recently in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Wisconsin is next. I did everything I could in that election. I made 10,000 phone calls. We cannot assume anymore that people are paying attention to what's going on in the world, which is why I suggest to people that we need to donate to conservative media outlets, because legacy newspapers like the Journal-Sentinel simply are not going to do their basic jobs anymore. People need to be involved with their county party offices as well, because there's always going to be an election around the corner. That just happened recently again with Paul Melotic. I kept the Republican Party office in West Allis open during that election cycle because I thought it was important. We need to accept early voting. I vote now on the first day of early in-person voting. I couldn't tell you how many times people told me, screw you, I'm voting on election day, Kelly is going to lose. We need to put whatever bitterness aside if the candidate of our choice is, and whoever this candidate of our choice is, he means, and support the nominee in whatever way we can. Judge Doro was my first choice. When Kelly said, you told me Hagedorn was a judicial conservative, and we got Hagedorned, I put that aside, and it was time to get serious. Everything from gun rights to election reform to right to work will all be up in the air. Wisconsin is going to be a state that's no different from Illinois. The Democrats are playing hardball, and for whatever reason, conservatives are still clinging to the playbook of the good old days of voting on election day. Those days are over. It's time for conservatives to change if they want to win. Let Janet Protasewicz be a reminder for what all conservatives need to do from now on. That comes from Scott, and that is absolutely brilliant. Now, people always ask me, Dan, what does it matter if I vote on election day or I vote early? My vote still counts the same, right? It does not. Yes, it counts as one vote. Think of it in this way. I have to spend money in order to get you to vote. Now, maybe not you. Maybe you're the type of person who is going to vote constantly, right? I, as a candidate, might or might not know that. So I have to spend money on you and 2 million of your closest conservative friends in this state in order to get them out to vote for me. I, however, can see through data that is collected and published pretty much daily by the local clerks who has voted. Okay? If you have voted, I no longer need to spend money to get you, not you in a collective sense, you specifically, listening to me in your car, at your office, at home, wherever you are, to get you to vote for me. How many pieces of direct mail do you get? I don't know why, but politicians on both sides are convinced that direct mailers are the way to go in getting people to vote for them. Just think about direct mail. What does it cost to print a piece of mail? A couple cents, right? What are stamps now? 46 cents? 63 cents. Goes to show you how rarely I actually send letters. Okay, 63 cents. 63 cents times several million voters is a lot of money, is it not? Let's say all of the impressions. If I'm doing ads on Facebook, if I'm doing ads on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, Snapchat, TikTok, anything, I can actually geo-target those ads to go to specific places. That costs money. If I know that 80% of people in a particular town who are likely to vote conservative have already voted, I don't need to expend resources to convince them to vote because those votes are already in the bank. Do you understand how this works? Liberals do, and they have been voting like that forever. Moreover, it is no longer enough to simply assume that someone you are friends with is going to vote on Election Day. That clearly didn't happen in the Supreme Court election. Oh, well, I'm going to vote. This is why I basically dedicated my show for weeks to getting people to not only get out and vote in person, absentee, mail in, whatever, but to tell 10, 20, 30 people, get out and vote early. With limited resources, it is incumbent upon voters to do what they can to allow those resources to be spread as far as they can be. That means voting early. The game has changed. Democrats are winning it right now. Democrats have been winning it for the better part of 5 years. COVID-19 did change everything. They changed the rules, they changed the laws, and we are playing essentially a tilted game. But we have to win it. Think of it as like that basketball game that you see at the state fair. The rim is not circular. It is oblong, and it is barely the size of the basketball. You have to play it perfectly in order to win. Is it fair? No. Is it technically legal? Yes, the ball can still fit in the rim. It is a winnable game. It's just more difficult. Until conservatives get over this hang-up they have about moving into this brave new world, and until we get over this idea, well, if I vote early, they're just going to throw away my vote. You do realize you can actually track your ballot online. If you cast your ballot and it is not counted, that is evidence that something happened to it, okay? We are facing a huge uphill battle. And frankly, because of what happened in 2022, everyone who's still upset about the election of 2020, what's changed in 2024? Seriously. Yeah, it's gotten worse. It's absolutely gotten worse. It's a Democrat governor in Arizona, arguably an even more important swing state than Wisconsin. Got a Democrat governor in Wisconsin, for goodness sakes. By the grace of God, we've still got a Republican governor in Georgia. But I mean, Democrats are not going to play by the rules. Well, they're going to play by the rules that they've established for their own benefit. And I was harping on this. Yeah, we would all want to just vote on election. Well, Dan, elections should be held on Election Day. We should have a holiday and everybody gets off and you vote on one. Yeah, I would love that. Guess what? It's not happening. All right? I mean, it can. It can happen in your state if you elect all Republicans. You could go back to no early voting whatsoever without an excuse. That's what we had in this country forever. It seemed to work just fine. But we can either live in the world as we wish it to be or live in the world as it is. And the hard truth for this Hard Truth Tuesday is that we had better start living in the world that exists today.